Take a few moments to find your way onto your back, lowering yourself onto your mat and find your Shavasana. With the feet spread wide to the bottom corners of the mat. Begin to release through the ankles, let the toes fall heavy to the sides. Shoulder blades tucked beneath you, opening up through the front of your chest, the collarbones. Arms wide at your sides with the palms facing up. Releasing all effort from the hands. Let the head grow heavy on the mat as you draw your chin in slightly towards your chest, and lengthening through the back of your neck. The eyes can be opened or closed, but let the gaze become soft. Take a long, slow breath in through the nose. Soft breath out through the nose. Big breath in. Let the belly rise up towards the ceiling, really filling it with breath. The slow exhale, the belly softens, contracts. Each breath in, inviting your body to take up a little bit more space. Each breath out, really grounding you here on your mat. Melting away any stress, any tension that your body may be holding on to. Use your breath as a tool to be really present in this moment. When your mind starts to wander, which it often will, draw it back to the breath. Bear witness to the inhales and the exhales as they move through your body. As you continue with that slow rhythm of breath, invite the mind into stillness and silence. Releasing any thoughts that race into your mind as easily as they entered. Without judgment, without attachment, just accepting their presence, washing them away with the exhale. The mind has started to slip away. You can draw it back into the space you've chosen for your practice and onto your mat. Start to slowly awaken the body by wiggling the fingers and the toes. Taking gentle rotations through the wrists and the ankles. Rotating in the opposite direction. Slide the feet together at the bottom of the mat. Reach the arms up overhead. Take a nice full body stretch. On the exhale, soften, release down into the mat. Big inhale, full body stretch. And exhale, let it go. Last time, full body stretch, the biggest one yet. Exhale, slowly release. Draw the knees in towards your chest. Hold at the knees or the shins, maybe the back of the thighs. You can interlace the fingers. See if you can maintain length in your neck by drawing your chin in slightly towards your chest. Send the tailbone down into the ground as you lengthen through the spine. And with the out breath, gently add some pressure to the knees, bringing them in closer to your belly, closer to your chest. A gentle rock from side to side with the knees. Massage in the low back. Be taking that side to side motion into full circles with the knees. Circling in the opposite direction. Pausing in the center. Lower the sole of the left foot to the floor. Keep the right knee drawn in. Reach for a strap and loop it over the right foot. So at home you can use a dog leash, a long sleeve shirt or a towel, even a belt, whatever you have available to you if you don't have a yoga strap. With that strap over the right foot, start to extend the right leg up towards the ceiling. It's a nice straight knee. You can have a little micro bend in the knee to protect the joint if you need, but we're just looking for a bit of a stretch here into the right hamstring. Send your tailbone, your pelvis into the mat. Become aware of your hips. Is there more weight in the left side or the right? Can you even out that distribution? Decide if you'd like to stay here with the left knee bent, or you can extend it long to the bottom of your mat. Keep the left leg active though. Draw the toes towards the left shin. Using the strap to apply gentle pressure to the right foot, drawing it a little bit closer towards the floor behind your head. Goes without saying that it does not have to get there. Reaching the right hip crease away from the top of your head and down into the mat. See if you can find some softness through the shoulders. Are you clenching your teeth? Transition the straps into the right hand, so both ends of the strap into one hand. Place the left hand onto the left hip. Encourage the left hip down onto the mat. And without lifting the left hip, start to open the right leg up towards the right side of the room. Think about not just bringing it over to the right, but also drawing it beyond the right shoulder and then over to the right side. That left hip stays firmly rooted onto the ground, preventing you from tipping over onto your right side body. Moving the stretch here to the inside of the right thigh. Keep both ankles flexed. Every inhale, find some length through the spine, from the top of your head to the tip of your left heel. Every exhale, maybe you're able to go a little bit deeper. Maybe you're able to draw the toes a little bit further beyond the right shoulder. One more big breath here. Draw the belly button towards your spine as you bring the right foot back through center. Taking another few breaths here in center, you can hold the strap in both hands again. Just see if you can maybe find a little bit more space to move. You're able to go a little bit deeper now that we've been here before. Bringing the strap now into the left hand. Create the capital L shape with your right hand. Place the thumb of your right hand into the right hip crease. The fingertips point towards the left foot. Press the thumb into the right hip crease, sending the hip away from the shoulders and down into the mat. Keep it rooted there as you start to inch the right foot over to the left, just about 6 inches or so. So you're not really going beyond the distance of your shoulder, it's just a few inches over to the left. From here, start to find an inward rotation of the right toes, so point the right toes a little bit further to the left. Send that right hip down into the mat. Bringing a stretch here into the IT band. Maybe you're feeling it a little more up the back of the thigh into the inner thigh, the glute, the outer hip. It kind of wraps around and comes up. So we're not moving into a twist here. The right hip should still be firmly rooted onto the floor. The right foot is just barely to the left with the toes pointing a little further left than the foot. Slowly come back through center. Release the strap with the left leg extended long. Draw the right knee in towards your chest. Wind or leaving pose on the right. Keep that left leg active, toes drawn towards your face as you release through the right ankle. Maybe taking a few gentle circles with the right knee, allowing the left hip to stay firmly rooted on the mat. Avoid swaying the whole body from side to side. Really isolate the movement to the right hip. Take the rotations in the opposite direction. Find stillness in the center. Keep the left hand on the right knee. Reach the right arm out at your side or up overhead in a cactus formation. Find a full body stretch here, lengthening from left heel to the top of your head. And then gently guide the right leg across your body and over to the left for a twist. Right shoulder stays rooted on the mat. Option to place a pillow or a block beneath the right knee. Gaze over the right shoulder. Filling up the lower right belly with breath. Each breath out, just releasing any tension. As if you're wringing out a cloth, just wringing out any tension from your body. Come back through center. Draw the right knee in once again. And then slowly release the right leg to the bottom of the mat. Find a mini shavasana here. Scanning the body from left to right, tip of the toes to the top of your head. Just noticing any asymmetries, any differences from side to side. Feeling a little bit longer, a little bit taller on the right. Slide the feet together at the bottom of the mat. Draw both of the knees in towards your chest. Take hold of the knees, give them a gentle hug. This time around, maybe you draw the knees a little bit further apart. Bring them towards the outer edges of the shoulders, creating space between the thighs. Use that space to allow the belly to rise and fall with breath. Bring the knees back together. The sole of the right foot find the floor. Keep the left knee drawn in as you reach for your strap once again. We're going to loop the strap over the left foot this time. Start to extend the left foot high towards the ceiling. So for you, that may mean that your leg is more at a 45-degree angle, and that's okay. Just start to draw the toes towards the ceiling, the sole of the foot to the ceiling, until you start to feel the knee bend. That's a sign that you've gone too far. So go back to a point where you're able to maintain a straight leg. From here, decide if you'd like to keep the right knee bent or extend it long to the bottom of the mat, with the ankle flexed, toes drawn to your face. Pausing here in breath. Sending the left hip away from the shoulders and down into the mat, so you draw the toes a little bit further towards the floor behind you. Just noticing where in the back of the leg you're feeling that stretch. Just a few more breaths here. Maybe you're able to find a bit more depth into your pose. Find your edge. That point in the pose where you start to feel a stretch. Never being forceful, never going beyond that. Never any pinching or pain in the joints. Transition the straps over to the left hand. Place the right hand on the right hip, encouraging it down towards the mat. Find some length through your body first, and then start to send the left foot over towards the left side of the room. Beyond the left shoulder. So it's not just over to the left, it's over and up. Avoid tipping over onto the left hip. See if you can keep most of the weight to the right hip here. Use your right hand as a little added weight to encourage that. And see if you can find stillness in the eyes. Oftentimes when we're uncomfortable, we're getting impatient, our eyes start to jet from side to side. Instead, focus on the breath and let that be your movement. One more big breath here. Draw the belly button down towards the spine to activate the core. Bring the left foot up through center. Another big breath or two here. See if you can find a little more depth. And if the right knee is bent, you can extend it long to create a little more space for the left leg to move here. Take the straps into the right hand, create that capital L shape with the left. Place the thumb in the left hip crease and send the left hip away from the shoulders and down into the mat. Imagine your foot at 12 o'clock here. Your body is a clock and you're pointing your left foot towards 12 o'clock. Shift it over to the right a couple of inches until it would be at the 1 o'clock position, so not very far at all. Continue to draw the toes towards the floor behind your head. And then start to pivot through the left hip, turn the left toes to about 2 o'clock. So just ever so subtle movements here. The left hip is still firmly in contact with the floor. We're not tipping over to the right. Creating length through the legs. Loosening up these muscles in the back and the sides of our legs can help with low back pain. It's all connected.
Come back through center. Take one more full breath here. Release the strap. Right leg extended long. Draw the left knee in towards your chest. Take hold of it and draw it in. Wind relieving pose. Once you've started to find a curve in the back of your neck, can you straighten it? Bring the chin in slightly towards the chest, tuck the shoulder blades beneath you. Sometimes we focus so hard on a particular pose, a particular shape, our legs, how deep we're going into the stretch, that we start to forget the other areas of alignment. The right leg, the right hip stays firm on the floor as you start to take gentle rotations with the left. Take rotations in the opposite direction. Settle in the center. Right hand takes hold of the left knee, release the left arm to your left. Maybe it's wide at your side, maybe it's up overhead like a cactus. Then gently guide the left knee over your body towards the right side of the room, landing in your twist. So it's okay to have some space between the left knee and the floor, or you can fill that up with a block or a pillow. Gaze is towards the ceiling or over to the left. Filling up the lower left belly with breath. Creating a little bit of micro distance between the left hip and the left shoulder with each breath in. Finding some softness, maybe deepening the twist with each breath out. Bring your gaze back through center. The left knee finds center as well. Bring the right knee in to meet the left. Give them both a hug. So again, a gentle rock from side to side. Find stillness in the center, draw the knees in close. Maybe you even bring your chin up towards your chest. Lift the head, the shoulders off of the mat as you curl into a nice tight ball. It'll be hard to find your breath in these compressed positions. So see if you can really focus on lengthening the inhales, softening the exhales. Smoothing out the transitions between the two. Slowly release the shoulders, the head back down to the mat. Let the soles of the feet find the floor. Bring the right arm up overhead as you roll over onto your right side body. You can rest your head on your arm like a pillow. Draw the knees in towards your chest, really round through the spine here. Breathing space into the back body, creating a sense of openness. When you feel ready in your own time, finding your way up to a tabletop position. So from your tabletop, let the shoulders be above the wrists, the hips above the knees. We're going to move through a few cat-cow positions. Inhale, lift the tailbone up, let the belly drop, heart comes forward, gaze comes up. On the exhale, tuck the tailbone, draw the belly button up towards the spine, really rounding through the spine, chin to chest, gaze to belly button. Inhale, starting with the tailbone, lift it up, belly drops, heart comes forward, gaze comes up. Exhale, tuck the tailbone, round spine, draw the belly button towards the ceiling, gaze to the belly. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Taking 3 more in both directions at your own pace. Really exaggerating the bend of the spine, making each movement to breath. Letting each cycle be a little bit slower than the one before it. No rush at all, but once you've finished your 3, landing in a neutral spine. Walk the knees back a couple of inches to find yourself into a modified plank. Really draw the belly button up towards the spine. Shoulders above the wrists. Find length through the spine. And as you exhale, bend the elbows, let them graze the ribs as you lower down onto your mat. Palms on the floor, beneath the shoulders as you draw the elbows in towards the midline and back towards the heels, pointing up towards the ceiling. Shoelace side of your feet is on the floor, pressing down so much so that the knees start to lift. On an inhale, we're going to lengthen the spine, lift the collarbones 1 or 2 ribs up off of the floor. The gaze is down at the floor, 6 or 8 inches beyond the fingertips. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, lengthen and lift, baby cobra. Exhale to lower. Inhale, lengthen and lift. Exhale, lower. One more time. Inhale, lengthen first, and then we lift. And we're going to hold here in the cobra. So let the strength of this come from your back. Little to no weight in the hands. Pressing down through the feet, so much so that the knees are lifted, reaching through the big toes. Keep the shoulders drawn away from the ears, the elbows in towards the midline. Holding the pose, but not the breath. On our big breath here. As you exhale, slowly lower down. Bring the big toes to touch. Let the heels fall wide apart. Let your arms come at your sides and the gaze turn to the left, right ear to the mat. Just taking a few moments here to release the low back. A mini front laying Shavasana. Just the same as we filled our bellies with breath at the beginning of class. Can you send your breath to your low back area, into your back, your waist? Feel it expanding in all directions with every breath. Turn the gaze to face the front, down at the back. Bring the heels towards one another. Shoelace side the feet on the floor. Bring the right arm out in front of you. Let your forehead rest on it like a pillow. You can have your forehead on it. You can turn your gaze to either side if that's more comfortable. You start to draw the left heel in towards the glutes. So if this pose doesn't work for you, you can always lie on your side and bring the left heel in towards your glutes this way. Otherwise, we're going to lie on our belly, draw the heel in towards the glutes, reach back and take hold of it with the left hand. So you can hold onto your foot, your ankle, a pant leg, or even your strap to add a little bit of length to your arm. Whatever is accessible. Keep the entire left thigh pressing down into the mat. So we're not lifting it up and dumping weight into our low back here. Reach through the left knee, creating length from the knee to the top of your head as you send it down into the mat. Continue to draw the left heel in towards your glute. And if you were wearing jeans right now, visualize the zipper area. Press the entire length of your imaginary zipper into the floor, from the base to the button. It's as if you're trying to tuck your tailbone beneath you, kind of in front of you, down towards the mat. Slowly release the left leg. Turn the toes of the left foot to face the left side of the room. Start to bend through the left knee, bringing the inseam of the left pant onto the floor. Continue to bend the left knee over towards the left side of the room, up towards the shoulders, as if you're coming into a 90 degree bend here. So 90 degrees at the hip, 90 at the knee. It's not to say you have to get there, it's just to give you an idea of the shape you're working towards, just stopping when you start to feel stretch through the hips. And really send the left hip down into the mat. Inner arch of the left foot is facing or on the floor. Right leg is extended long. The closer the left knee is up towards kind of the left elbow, we'll say, the more of a stretch you'll be feeling here. So to ease off, just send it a little bit further towards the back of your mat. A little less of a bend in the knee and the hip. Extend the left leg long to meet the right. We're going to switch arms. So bring the left arm under the head. Let that become your pillow now. Right arm reaches back behind you. Draw the right heel in towards your glute. Again, just taking hold of the right foot, maybe using your strap or pant leg. Really draw the right heel in towards your glute. It will likely not touch. It's okay if it doesn't. Press down the right thigh all the way to the tip of your knee. So we're not lifting the leg up here. Our body finds funny ways to make it look like we're deeper in the pose. You think, if I lift my knee, I can reach my bum. But then you start to lose the stretch in the front of the thigh, and it moves more into the low back. Really press down the leg, add weight to it. As the right heel draws in, press your imaginary zipper into the floor. Just a reminder that you are welcome to take this while lying on your side, and just drawing the heel in towards your glute. Slowly release the right foot, let it join the left. Turn the right toes to face the right side of the room. Bend through the right knee as you slide the inseam of the right pant leg towards the right side of the room, creating a 90-degree bend in the knee or heading in that direction. Forehead resting on the left arm, shoulders square with the mat. Really drive down the right hip in towards the mat beneath you. Taking a few more breaths here on this side. And side the left or right leg rather to meet the left. We're going to come up onto our forearms here with the legs extended long. You may find it a little easier on your low back here to create some space between the feet. The shoelace side of the feet is still on the floor, but they're a little bit wider now. Forearms are parallel, elbows beneath the shoulders. Create some length through the low back. Open up your heart to the room in front of you. Sphinx pose. Pressing the base, so the lower part of that imaginary zipper, into the floor. The imaginary button could be lifted, and that's okay. It's just the base of the zipper we want to push down. Find as much length as you can through the low back. We're going to turn our face, our gaze, over the left shoulder here, as far as it'll go. From there, start to turn the gaze of your eyes even further yet to the left. So it's as if your face is over the left shoulder, but the eyes are facing towards the inside of the right heel. It's okay if you can't see it, you're just looking in that direction as if you're looking for the right heel. Pause here in breath. Try to avoid shifting your gaze from side to side. Let it stay focused as far over to the left as you can. Just a release for the vagus nerve can help to encourage your body to relax. You may find your gaze becomes blurred, that's okay. If you ever feel dizzy, you're welcome to come out. Let your eyes return center. Let your gaze come forward. Slowly lower down onto the mat. Big toes come to touch, heels go wide apart. Bring the left ear to the floor as you gaze right. Arms at your sides. Breathing space into the low back and allowing it to reset after that back bend. Let your gaze come back through center. Draw the heels towards one another. You can find that space between the feet again. We'll move through our second side, so bring the forearms back onto the floor. You can always support yourself by filling this gap here with pillows or a blanket. Shoulders are drawn away from the ears, heart is open. Gaze starts forward. From here, we're going to turn our face, our gaze over to the right.
Once your gaze is as far as it can go to the right, start to send the eyes, gaze of the eyes even further to the right, beyond the right shoulder and back towards the left heel. Hold that eye position. Try to avoid shifting the gaze. Just a few more breaths here on this side. The eyes return to their neutral. The gaze comes forward. Lower down towards the mat. Let your hands come beneath the shoulders. Tuck your toes. Press down through the mat. Come up through tabletop. Big toes come to touch. Knees go wide apart. Shift your hips back towards your heels for a child's pose. Fingers spread wide. Let them slide away from your hips. Reaching forward. Let your forehead rest onto the mat, onto a block or a pillow. You can always roll up a towel or a blanket behind the knees here, just to create a little bit of space in the joints. Or you can sit your bum down onto a pillow or a block. Breathing space into the low back. Breathing space into the mid back. Breathing space to the upper back between the shoulder blades. Find your way up to a tabletop. Maybe a gentle sway from side to side with the hips. And then we'll come to find a comfortable seated position. So that could be up onto your knees, it could be cross-legged, maybe sitting up onto a block or a pillow. Sitting up tall here with the shoulders above the hips, start to take a few gentle rotations with the upper body. And rotating in the opposite direction. Find your center. Inhale, reach up nice and high. As you exhale, bring the right fingertips to the floor beside you. Reach up through the left and over to the right. Bend in the right elbow, maybe bringing your forearm onto a block or onto the floor. See if you can keep your heart open. So as we take a side bend, a lot of times we fold forward, hollowing out the chest. Keep the shoulders stacked one on top of the other. See if you can maintain length through the right side as well. Try not to crunch down on that. Really send your left hip down into the mat. Come back up through center. Exhale, hands to heart. Full cycle of breath here. As you inhale, draw a circle with the arms, reach up. Exhale, left hand to the floor beside you. Reach the right fingertips up and over to the left. So again, notice if the right shoulder starts to dip down towards the floor. Can you keep it drawn back and away from your ear? We lengthen through the right side body here. Right hip firmly rooted into the mat. Come back through center. Exhale, hands to heart. Full breath here. Let it go. Perfect opportunity if the legs are crossed to cross them in the opposite direction. It's helping to stay even from side to side. And sitting up tall once again. You're going to take a big breath in and reach the arms up towards the ceiling. Exhale, hands to heart. Big breath in. Exhale, hands to heart. Inhale. Exhale. 3 more slow breaths at your own pace. Avoid swaying the torso forwards and backwards here, sitting up tall. Linking each movement to breath and letting each cycle be a little bit slower than the one before it. At the bottom of your third breath, just pausing with your hands at your heart, taking a few cycles of breath with the eyes closed. Releasing the hands to the mat. You can open the eyes and extend the legs long in front of you. Give the legs a little bit of a wiggle, maybe pointing and flexing through the toes, drawing circles, the ankles. And then landing with the tall spine sitting up straight, legs extended long and the ankles flexed. We're going to bend through the right knee. Bring the pinky toe edge of the right foot onto the left thigh, creating almost a figure 4 shape with the legs. If you have knee sensitivity, I find sometimes it helpful to place a block beneath the right knee here. And you want a tall spine here, so notice if you're starting to round into a cat-like back or lean back into a reclining chair. We want to be sitting up tall. We're looking for a stretch into the right hip, the right glute. You're not quite feeling that here while sending the right knee down towards the mat. Start to bend through the left leg. And you can see here I start to lean back to get into position. But then I walk myself back up to that tall spine. Maintaining weight on the big toe mound of the left foot. Sending the right knee away from my shoulders. The closer the left heel is to your glutes, the more of a stretch you'll be feeling in the hip here. So to ease off, walk the heel away from the hips until the leg is straight. You want to find just that point where you start to begin to feel the stretch, without any pinching or pain in the joints. The right ankle is flexed, drawn towards the right shin to help protect your knee joint. Draw awareness to your sits bones. Is there more weight in the left or the right? Can you even that distribution? If the left leg is bent, start to extend it now. Still sitting up tall. Take hold of the right knee, start to bring it up through center, lowering the right foot to the outside of the left leg. Left ankle is flexed. Inhale, reach up towards the sky. On the exhale, with the left hand, take hold of the right knee, draw it in through center, or wrap your arm around it. Right hand comes behind you. Gaze over the right shoulder for a twist. You can use the right hand on the floor behind you to press through the ground and lengthen the spine. Gently hug in the right knee as you deepen the twist. Slowly release, come back through center. Maybe a little counter twist in the opposite direction. And then release the right leg to meet the left. Give those legs a few little rotation, get out any creaks or cracks. And pausing with flexed ankles, bend through the left knee, sole of the left foot to the floor. Lift up the left foot and let the pinky toe edge land on the right thigh. Creating that figure 4 shape for a seated pigeon pose. Sending the left knee down towards the mat. Just listening to your body here. Are you feeling a good stretch? Stay just as you are, sitting up tall. Right leg extended long. If you're not quite feeling a stretch yet, you can start to bend through the right knee. Walk yourself to sit up tall. And keep inching the right heel in towards your glute until you feel that stretch in the outer left hip into the glute. Keep sending the left knee away from your shoulders. Squeezing the pinky toe edge of the left foot into the right thigh into the left foot. Notice if you're dumping all the weight into the left hip here. Can you send some more weight into the right hip? See how that changes the stretch for you. Just remembering back to the first side, are you feeling a little more tight on this side? Maybe you have a little more space to move. It's pretty normal to be asymmetrical from side to side. At home, you can always hold your tight side a little bit longer to try and find balance between the two. From here, we're going to extend the right leg long to the bottom of the mat. Ankle is flexed. Take hold of the left knee. Bring the sole of the left foot onto the floor on the outside of the right. Sit up tall. Reach the hands towards the sky for a big inhale, lengthen the spine. On the exhale, either take hold or wrap your arm around the left knee, draw it into the midline. Left hand comes behind you, either to the mat or your low back. Lengthen the spine as you gaze over the left shoulder for a twist. First we lengthen, and then we deepen. Come back through center, maybe a little counter twist here. Slowly release, and let the left leg join the right. Give them both a wiggle, and we'll come to lower down onto our mat, lying on our back. Knees can be bent to begin. Just a gentle windshield wiper motion with the legs. Releasing through the spine. Inhale as the knees come through center. Exhale, knees to the left, gaze to the right. Inhale, knees and gaze come through center. Exhale, knees go to the right, gaze goes to the left. Inhale through center. Knees left, gaze right. Inhale, center. Knees to the right, gaze to the left. Come back through center and pause. Draw the knees in towards the chest, give them a hug. Maybe a gentle rocking motion forwards and backwards, massaging the entire length of the spine. And then pause, landing with your back on the floor. Draw those knees in once again. See if that opened up a little bit of space for you. Go a little bit deeper. Take the knees in a little gentle circle in both directions.
One last breath in the center, and as you exhale, lower the soles of the feet to the floor. Let the soles of the feet come to touch as the knees fall apart, creating a diamond shape with your legs. Supine Baddha Konasana, or a cobbler's pose. Place one hand on your belly, one hand on your heart. Just bear witness to the breath as it moves through your body. Do one last amount of effort with the eyes to release our vagus nerve. So take the hands and interlace the fingers. Turn the palms towards the ceiling as you rest your head in them. So the hands are now interlaced behind the head, the skull resting in the palms of your hands. Use the hands on the head to support it and prevent it from turning side to side. Feel free to release the legs at any time or holding this cobbler's pose position. With the head stable, the nose pointing to the ceiling, turn just the eyes, just the gaze towards the left. The eyes are softly gazing out the left corners of the eyelids. Nose continues to point towards the ceiling. We're not turning the whole head, the ear towards the left side, just the eyes. See if you can find one thing in the distance to attempt to center focus to. Avoid jutting them from side to side and up and down, just focusing on that one point. Continuing to focus. You feel that you've had enough and you're wanting to get moving, just focus on the breath. Try to stay here as long as you're able. Maybe the vision starts to blur, maybe you feel a yawn or a swallow, a sigh. It's just the body starting to relax. Bring the gaze back through center slowly. Take one breath here. And as you let that breath go, send the eyes, the gaze over to the right. Nose still point center. Use the hands behind your head to resist that motion of the head turning. Just the eyes. It's okay to blink. Otherwise, hold the gaze still. It's 5 or 6 more breaths in this position. One more big breath. Bring the gaze back to the center. Release the arms at your sides. Extend the legs long to the bottom corners of your mat. Settle into your final resting pose. Maybe you choose to keep the eyes open with the gaze soft, noticing how they feel here in the center. Perhaps you choose to close the eyes softly. Whatever works best in this moment for you. Feel a sense of calmness rush over your body. Body preparing to relax. Unwind and let go. The feet, the arms, legs heavy at your sides. The entire back body supported by the mat beneath you. Resist the urge to move, to fidget, to twitch. Just focus on your breath as it moves in and out through your body.
Feeling a sense of openness through chest, the heart, the throat. Noticing how the breath almost feels a little bit cooler now that you've come to rest on your back. Feeling the breath as it enters in through the nose and down the throat. Filling the chest, filling the belly. Breath is warmed softly as it exits through the nose. Allow the sounds around you to start to fade off into the background until all that remains is the sound of your own breath moving in and out through the nose. Releasing any effort to control its rhythm or its rate. Simply just be here in the moment in your breath. Stay here on your mat as long as you have available to you. When it does feel time to get up and go, allow leaving your practice to become a part of your practice. Moving slowly and mindfully, taking with you a little sense of calm, peace that you've cultivated here on your mat today, with you into the rest of your day, your week, your month. Until next time, namaste.